A woman suddenly discovered that her neighbors were hurriedly packing their bags. She and her husband walked out in confusion to ask what was going on, but the neighbors offered no explanation and simply urged them to flee for their lives as well. Before the couple could even figure out what was happening, their neighbors had already driven away in a panic. Perplexed, the husband and wife stepped out onto the main street, only to find that the other residents of the small town were also driving away in droves, as if they knew something terrible was about to happen. This unusual scene made the couple feel uneasy. For safety's sake, they quickly gathered their daughter and joined the throng of people fleeing the town. However, not long after hitting the road, the family noticed many vehicles making U-turns and heading back. Despite feeling very strange about this, they had no choice but to keep driving forward. It wasn't until they reached the town's exit that they realized the road ahead had been completely blocked off by the military. Helicopters circled overhead, broadcasting demands for citizens to return to their homes immediately and not wander around. What on earth had happened in this small town? Suddenly, a rock rolled down from the mountain and crashed right onto their car, leaving a huge dent in the hood. The three of them looked up in horror, only to see two fighter jets roaring past in the next second, flying straight towards the valley town below. Without any warning, the fighter jets unleashed countless bombs. As they watched their hometown being engulfed in flames, everyone present had a look of utter disbelief on their faces. They noticed the fighter jets turning around and heading towards them, sending everyone scattering in terror. Amidst the chaos, the woman spotted a water tower not far away and remembered there was an air raid shelter there. The family of three immediately ran towards it. But just as they reached halfway up the hillside, the fighter jets began bombing the area they had just been in. Witnessing this, the three of them didn't dare linger for a moment and sprinted all the way to the entrance of the air raid shelter. However, the fighter jets in hot pursuit seemed to have spotted them as well. Fortunately, just as the bombs were about to drop, the family managed to make it inside the shelter in the nick of time. Once things quieted down outside, they cautiously looked around. Luckily, this shelter had originally been built for wartime and was stocked with ample supplies. To be safe, they used chains to secure the heavy steel door tightly, and just like that, the family settled into the underground air raid shelter. Since there was never any sunlight down here, the little girl quickly developed claustrophobia. Everything became extremely frightening in her eyes, and she had nightmares every night. Thankfully, her father was quite patient and would often play various fun games with her and tell her bedtime stories. As the days passed, they had unwittingly been hiding in the air raid shelter for nearly a year. Each day, the girl would draw a line on the wall, gradually filling up the entire wall. During this time, the girl wanted to go out and see the outside world more than once, but was stopped by her parents, because they discovered that the situation outside hadn't improved, but had actually gotten worse. Moreover, it seemed there was also some terrifying presence trying to break into the air raid shelter.